So I was really interested in the study that they found that the first time someone self-harmed, it helped them feel better, but then kind of going on later down the line it didn't, because that's something that really resonates with me. And a lot of people ask me why I do it, and they kind of want to know what the gain is, and I can't tell them. Like, for me, it doesn't make me feel better anymore.
Well, when I first started, it helped. It was a way to cope with what was happening in my life. So it helped me feel better to start with. But now it's something like if I was to do it now, it's more frustration that I feel that I've given in to the feelings.
The first time I self-harmed was emotionally very dramatic for me, but then I think the last time I self-harmed was pretty normal. But then I compare the two experiences, and the first time I self-harmed I barely hurt myself, and the last time I self-harmed I had to go and get stitches.
I guess they've changed in the sense that I feel more negatively about myself when I do it now, whereas before it helped. I felt better about myself when I did it.
Well, I know that scientifically it's all about endorphins. When you cut yourself or when you hurt yourself, endorphins are released. And so naturally that's going to make you feel better. And because of that, it's an addictive kind of thing. And even though it does feel good, it's also obviously such a harmful thing that it can't possibly feel all that great, in the same way that any kind of addictive behaviour doesn't feel good. But it's something that you rely on.
Self-harm becomes like an automatic response. When you've used it to cope with something before and you've had positive effects, like it becomes something that you want to do again to feel those positive benefits. But I think when you recognise the harm and when you recognise you don't want to do it anymore, it's hard to stop that automatic reaction. So I think that's where the conflict comes in. You have something happens in your life and you want to respond in a way which has been helpful before, but then you've got this other side, you don't want to do it anymore. So then when they come together, it's that feeling of like it doesn't feel as positive anymore.
Our sequence analysis using our card sort data, so where we're looking at how things evolve over time, what are the important transitions in the pathway to self-harm, if you like, was that young people told us that for their first ever episode of self-harm, self-harm made them feel better. So there was something about self-harm that was helping them to cope with the distress that they were facing at that time point. However, by their most recent episode, and the gap between those two periods was variable, but by the most recent episode, that benefit, that helpful aspect of the self-harm had disappeared. Instead, what we were seeing was that young people reporting this notion of not being afraid of dying. And just because a young person might present where they're seeing self-harm as something that's egosyntonic, that's helping them to start with, that might not stay the same. And in fact, our data suggests that it's not going to stay like that, and it's actually going to, things are going to not improve and may get worse and lead to this situation where a young person is actually reporting, well, I've been doing this behaviour now and I'm not afraid of death anymore.